Mentioned earlier, Virginia is being watched very closely, both here in our area and nationally as well. Republicans hold the top 3 offices in the Commonwealth right now, while Democrats have full control of the General Assembly. So what is the Democratic message ahead of this primary? Let's welcome in Marcus Simon. He is a Democratic delegate for the House District 53. Good to see you this morning. Let's start off where we just left off. You heard what the governor had to say about these polls. Do you get the sense that Virginia is a toss-up state right now for the presidential?
Yeah, I don't think that it's a toss-up state. Yeah. Look, I mean, Donald Trump's been notoriously difficult to poll throughout history. I think maybe some of these pollsters have overcorrected a little bit on that. Yeah. We have some recent, though, experience here in Virginia, right? We just had elections in 2023. We have elections every year in Virginia. And in 2023, we took back the Virginia General Assembly. We took back the House of Delegates, picked up 3 seats, held on to the state Senate. We've got, again, full Democratic control in the House and the Senate, because I think our message really does resonate with Virginia voters, which is that they want a party that's going to protect their fundamental freedoms, right? Access to abortion care, access to women's health care. It's going to keep them safe from gun violence. I think that message resonates with Virginians. I think what we're seeing maybe some noise in the polls, and also let's keep in mind it's June, right? We got a long way to go.
One of the things you have when you have so many candidates, as you do in both the 7th and the 10th, is you can get there, meaning there is the nomination, without a majority of the vote. The margins are small. Is that a problem for these candidates? Has it been a problem for these candidates trying to punch through, in just a crowded field?
Yeah, I think that, I think it's a good sign, right, that we have so many candidates and so much enthusiasm, and frankly, that nobody's dropped out. Sort of usually you'd expect by now for somebody to sort of emerge as the consensus and other people to fade away. I think it shows that there's a lot of enthusiasm. We have a very diverse party, a very diverse electorate, and we have a very diverse set of candidates. So it makes it more challenging. But I think once the primaries are over, we sort of put that behind us. We've got plenty of time to drive that message home to Virginia
This is no surprise to you, though, that there has been calls for one candidate to pull out, and that is Dan Helmer, who's running for Congress in the 10th. Eileen Fillicorn, who is the former Democratic General Assembly Speaker, she has called for Helmer to resign, along with Manassas Mayor Michelle Davis, because there have been accusations against him of sexual assault. Democrats are a party that's running on women's issues right now. Does that help having somebody who's been accused like Dan Helmer in a race?
Look, allegations like that are very serious. I take them seriously. Democrats take those kind of allegations very seriously. Unfortunately, with the timing of when these are coming out, there's really not a whole lot of time for everybody to get a full grasp of what exactly is going on. But we have a number, like I said, of really excellent candidates that the voters ultimately have to decide how much this issue weighs on them. It'll be up to the voters on Tuesday to sort of decide how much of a factor this ought to be.
I'm curious, as you heard Governor Gilmore talk about the Bob Good race right now. What's the Democratic perspective on that? It's basically a battle for the soul of the Republicans down there, and Bob Good, is an extremely conservative Republican, but he's being told that he's not conservative enough. Can Democrats exploit that in any way?
Well, I think so. I think what it sort of tells us is that conservative doesn't necessarily matter anymore as much as your loyalty to Donald Trump, right? And this is what I don't think anybody's saying Bob Good's not conservative enough. I'm saying I think they don't think he's MAGA enough. He's not aligned himself strictly enough to Donald Trump, although he's tried to overcome that by going to New York and I wouldn't say kissing up, maybe it's the wrong word, but trying to ingratiate himself to former President Trump. So, I mean, I think the Virginia Republican Party is the party of Donald Trump right now, and I think that hurts them with voters.
All right. Marcus Simon is a Virginia State delegate, a Democrat, and you're going to be part of our coverage coming up here on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll see you Tuesday night.
Thank you so much.
All right.